Contingency log number 92. Codename: the circumstances of one's birth. The Pokémon world is vast, and the further one ventured into said world, the more variety they will end up finding. The relationship between them and humans seeming to grow stronger as time goes on. Some may take Pokémon in as a simple companion, someone of which they can share their time with. But others will take up the profession of a Pokémon trainer, gathering as many as they can to build the strongest team. But when seeking the power to achieve this, the question will eventually arise: just what Pokémon can hold the title of the strongest? For a series spanning almost 30 years, the answer to this question is ever-changing. As new and stronger Pokémon, many of which stand as deities over the fundamental laws of nature, seem to be discovered on a near-yearly basis. But there was a Pokémon who tried to claim that title first, and arguable may have held that title for a time. A Pokémon who, despite all his strength, was void of a purpose, as he would not be born through normal means. No, this Pokémon was born through science, cloned with the use of the DNA of a mythical Pokémon by the name of Mew. The scientists who cloned this DNA, funded by Giovanni, the leader of a criminal organization known as Team Rocket, would run several tests prior until they managed to successfully recreate Mew's DNA, creating a whole new being with it, one which they would give the name of Mewtwo. This was admittedly a rather incredible scientific achievement, humanity playing God with Pokémon, something that to this day will still transpire, creating Pokémon of which the likes no one has ever seen before. But as we all know, playing God can have devastating ramifications, and these scientists would discover this too late. They wanted to create the world's most powerful Pokémon, and they succeeded. For a time after his creation, Mewtwo would be manipulated by Giovanni, used to keep his gym undefeated before Mewtwo grew tired of being used. He would eventually turn on him as well, and would lose any trust in humanity, creating a fortress of which he could use as a battleground, a location where he could prove his strength to any and all who would accept his challenge. Fortunately for humanity, Ash would be one who would accept this challenge, and a noble sacrifice would lead to Mewtwo seeing the errors of his ways, letting go of his hatred not only for humans, but for the origin of his birth as well, choosing to remove himself from the eyes of the world, living in peace with the Pokémon of which he had cloned as well. But that would not be the end of his story. Being a psychic type, Mewtwo not only has the moveset typical for his typing, but he is also capable of controlling the minds of humans. Having not only been capable of controlling the mind of a Nurse Joy for an unknown amount of time, but he is also capable of erasing the memories of humans as well, something he'd do to hide his existence on more than one occasion. This alone would make him a difficult opponent to handle, but he is capable of more than that, as while he may not have access to the same move pool as Mew, Mewtwo's is still impressive, not just being able to attack you with a variety of elemental moves, but he can also use moves which can cover any of his weaknesses as well, all while boasting an impressive base stat of 680, placing him second only to the literal god of Pokémon. It's safe to say that any move that Mewtwo would use on you will hurt a great deal, and unfortunately for me, that is still not the peak of Mewtwo's strength. As when the 6th generation of Pokémon was introduced, it came with a new form of evolution, the Mega Evolution, a temporary form which a select number of Pokémon are capable of achieving, increasing their strength exponentially. And Mewtwo would be one of the Pokémon capable of achieving this transformation, this form granting another 100 points to his base stats, placing him at 780. And not only that, but Mewtwo is also capable of activating one of 2 different transformations, being able to become either Mega Mewtwo Y, an evolution which pushes his already powerful special attack even further, or he can change into Mega Mewtwo X, boosting his physical attack instead, but also turning him into a dual typing of psychic and fighting. Countering Mewtwo can prove difficult, as in the event that he goes rogue once again may require me to capture him in a Pokeball, if I want any containment to be effective. And before you ask, this Master Ball is just a replica, as the company who created it is very secretive in how it was produced, meaning I would be left to use an Ultra Ball, given it is, at least to my knowledge, my best option for catching him. But a Pokémon cannot be caught unless you've managed to weaken them enough in battle, which is why I would require my own team if I wish to counter him, something that came up when I made my contingency for Ash Ketchum, which is something I have tasked Robin with handling, and to my knowledge he is still out there collecting Pokémon. In his last update he stated he was heading towards somewhere known as Sky Pillar. For now I've decided to leave him be, and catch as many Pokémon as he can, not just to give us as many options needed for the future, but in truth, he seemed to be enjoying himself, the bond he'd formed with his Pokémon having had a positive effect on him.
Hey, Robin's tracker just clocked him leaving the Earth's atmosphere at an incredible speed. He seems to be writing something. You know anything about that?
I may need to check on him. If you also have a character you wish for me to cover, or just want to support this channel, I'll have a link to my Ko-fi page. There will also be a Google Doc with the list of characters who have ever been done or already commissioned by others.